Hey folks, what's all see you today? So we're gonna tool a duck lanyard today, and I've already got my ducks. You can see that laid out on there and the initials that's going on it, and my border around the outside. And we're gonna cut all this in. Hopefully where you can see it. You know, getting caught up in cords and stuff. I like to use this this particular swivel knife just for long runs like this. I don't know why, I just seem to like to run nice on long runs. I may have to set this. I ran off. I was looking at the monitor and ran off the line a little bit. It'll be alright. It'll work itself out in the tooling. Anytime you're tooling a line, well, unless you're doing figure carving, but a line like this, it's got to be swivel cut. I get that question sometimes. Do you have to swivel cut all of that? And yep, you do. That's your relief line, which allows your impression to go down in and stay down in where it needs to be. This one needs to make it there by Father's Day, I guess. I wasn't actually aware of that, and anyways, I'm gonna have it done. I'll have it wrapped up tomorrow, and then I'll ship it out Priority Mail Express or something to that effect. Alright, so that line's cut in. We'll cut these initials in. That needs a little bit of sharpening on it. So to sharpen my swivel knives, I just use a strop, a little bit of green polishing compound on it. It's got a, I bought this strop. You can make one. This is, or just use a piece of leather, but on your table. But this is it's got a rough side here and a smoother side here. I'm not sure that it makes much difference. Sharpen your knives on that also, or touch them up anyways. Just gives you a super sharp edge on your hunting knives. Wife and I are going to look at a horse today. It's supposed to be in Appaloosa. We'll see. It's a mare. She has a foal with her right now, and he's not letting her go until the foal's weaned. Unless he wants to sell the foal too. I make the heads on these ducks a little bit rounder, fatter than. I'll have to straighten that one out a little bit in the tooling, but I extend these wings out a little bit. Trying to get this where you can see what I'm doing, but that one's a little better. It's been a little while since I've done one of these. Actually, I usually do quite a few, but the shop hasn't been open that much here lately. Been busy with the rock stuff. And with my back problems, a lot of the leather stuff is assembly, so you're standing all day long assembling stuff, and that's kind of a problem right now. But you know, this thing's recording completely backwards, so my left hand's, no, I guess, no, it is wrong. My left hand's on the right side of the screen and vice versa. I'm not sure why it's that way, but we're gonna roll with it. Hopefully it's all right. But if you start to wonder, no, I'm not left-handed. It just appears that way in the monitor. I don't know if there's a way to change all that around in editing or not, but I don't do a lot of editing. I just don't have time to do a lot of editing. But if you've been watching my videos, you know that. It's more el natural. And this is the last duck, and then we're ready to start tooling. Now this didn't get the case overnight. Well, that sounds like my wife's coming up from, she's been out working, doing groundwork with the horses. Sounds like she's back, so she may be coming in here wanting to go look at that horse. So I may have to move this camera also. We'll see. See if we can get a better angle here. And I don't like to pick the tool up, pick it up. I like to just run along just like that. My electricians are supposed to be here to finish up in the rock shop today as well, so. Hopefully that happens. My holding pad went to. What the heck happened to that? I don't see it at all. My little weight seems to have disappeared. I guess we won't be using it today. My little buffalo pad I set on here for weight to hold the piece in position. I have no idea where it's at. Hold on. Okay. Pause for just a second there. Zoom in just a little bit more here. I'm going to run this tool all the way around the outside of this. Really bugs me about where my thing's at. It must have fell down somewhere, my weight anyways. And I'm pretty much keeping this tool straight up and down. Use a smaller one to get around that corner. This is a Tandy tool. B60802, and this is a B803. Never time this, see how many. It's faster when you're not on camera and you can move the piece in whatever position you want it in. I never check to see how many feet a minute of this you can tool like this on straight lines. Doesn't really matter, but it'd be kind of interesting to know. Get this thing tooled and get the oil on it so it can start setting. So I'm going to finish tooling this before we go to town. And I'll so the oil can be soaking while I'm gone. And I won't put it in the hot boxes. Things like this have a tendency to I've had things like this. I don't like to leave things in a hot box unattended, I guess. the leather warms up, gets softer, things move. I've had things fall down and get on the heat bulbs down below, the light bulbs. It's basically got 200-watt incandescent light bulbs in it, or 75s. I use either one, whichever one I can find. Because of course it's getting harder and harder and harder to find an incandescent light bulb. I usually end up having to order them. Because everything's gone LED. Problem is LEDs don't produce enough heat for what I need, so. Alright. So we managed to get all the way around it. So we'll probably tool around these letters. This is 8 to 9 ounce veg tan leather. When you're tooling, you have to use veg tan leather because it will take and keep an impression. Or if you're trying to, you can't tool like chrome tan and stuff like that. It just won't hold an impression. Even if you do get an impression in it, the impression is won't stay. Veg tan leather, same leather that your saddle would be made out of. Only thing on your saddle that's not veg tan is if you got maybe rawhide on your tree, or a rawhide wrap on the back, or something like that, and maybe some chrome tan leather on the seat or something like that. Get the question of what's the most durable leather, and they're always species specific, so they want to know, well, bison's really tough, right? Well, yeah, but really the toughest leather out there, most durable, is going to be a veg tan full grain leather. It doesn't really matter what species it is, really don't make any difference. It's the tannage process that has the best durability, and a veg tan leather is just more durable. But that is a common question among customers, is what is the most durable leather? And they go, well, I heard that elephant's really tough, or this is really tough. Well, yeah, elephants are really tough, but that doesn't necessarily mean their hide is. It just depends on the tannage. Sure enough, yeah. An elephant is tough, it can smush you. But anyways. Okay, that should have a piece of cloth here. And we're going to take a modeling tool and run around these. Probably going to spin around them a little bit one more time just to clean it up. Maybe not normally have to do this, but because I didn't case the leather overnight, I get my YouTube channel rocking again. It was doing really good, and I've kind of slacked off a bit on making videos, and just been busy with other stuff. Alright, let's tool a duck. First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to run around the outside . Of my duck. Yeah, see, I wouldn't normally be tooling that direction. I'd flip this around like this. Hopefully you guys can see enough of what's going on here. Tooling is really hard to film because your hands just always seem to be in the way. That's his little leg hanging down there. I do get requests to carve certain ducks. And I tell them you have your choice between two different ducks. a big one and a little one. Sometimes I do other ducks, but for the most part, this is the ducks that I put on these. And they identify as any kind of duck you want them to be. You want a mallard? This is your mallard. Anyhow, I think they're pretty cool. Alright, so we ran around there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get a line beveler. This is number B204. I don't know if you can see that, B204. And we're going to hit some of these lines that are in this. I actually use an old craft aid for laying out these ducks because it's just faster. I have them drawn too, but just faster to just gonna kind of build some contours in there. Okay, now we're gonna take this tool right here, which is what's the number on this? F976. If you can see that. And we're gonna start working on some feathers. I'm tipping this tool up. We're going to do the same thing over here. Okay. Now, and give him a little eyeball. And then we are going to add to the feather. So we're going to come up off of those. Starting to come to life. Okay, so then we're going to take a hair tool. This is a hair tool. And we're going to give him some texture. in the same direction like your feathers would run. We've got a U2730. It's a mule's foot. Put a few little jobbers down right there. And I don't know where that came from right there. And the background around it, I'm going to come in here like this. Push all this into the background. We're going to do the same thing around all of them, including the letters. Again, it makes that halo around it, but I'm okay with that. That's pretty much it as far as that goes. We're going to repeat that same process on all the ducks. Starting to dry out. See, now if you case it properly, then it won't dry out so bad on you. You can get from all the way to the end without ever wetting it again, because that moisture is even throughout the whole thing. But this one's a rush job, so we're not doing that. I have another one to tool. It's going to have a dog on it, so it'll be a little bit different. Push that back in there and make that pop out there. And I'd leave little pieces like that that's not smashed down. You'll see when it's done, but there'll be little waves of that just to break it up some. You know, you can see here where this part's not smashed down. And we're going to repeat this on all these ducks. But I'll probably run through each stage on these two, and then I don't normally tool just an individual duck. I do a couple, 3 at a time usually. So I'm not, every time you're set down a tool and have to pick it back up, then you lost some time. Not to mention a few seconds it takes to locate the tool you're using. It just saves a little bit of time. Sometimes I don't care about that, but if you're just a hobbyist, then you're not really in a hurry, but turned out pretty nice so far. When the oil gets on here and the antique and all that, it'll look spectacular. Takes pretty much the same amount of time to do a little one as it does a big one, as far as tooling a duck goes. I need better lighting over here. My eyesight's getting worse and worse all the time, and could really use some better lighting in here. Dang it. There we go. These aren't the same every time as far as the texture part goes. It varies a little bit. But you gotta add some texture to your ducks, or they'll just look too plain. I do have another flint napping video that I need to release. I haven't finished doing all the stuff I got to do before I release it quite yet. There is changes you can make to these ducks to make them look more like pintails or whatever. I'm not a big duck hunter myself. I was in Alaska to go up to the tide flats duck hunting, and Alaska's got extreme tides, so it might have a 20 something foot tide, you know. It's about time the tide's going out. About every 10 minutes your decoys are high and dry, because the tide's going out so fast, and same with it coming in. It's kind of I didn't like fighting with it. I was always more of a big game hunter myself. Although I did like hunting some birds like grouse and ptarmigan and stuff like that. I definitely enjoy ptarmigan hunting. Plus, I think they're about the best eating birds I've ever ate. Or maybe they just seem that way at 30 below zero. And yes, I've hunted them in that kind of weather. These will really look sharp when the antique and everything goes on them. Okay, so I am gonna get a little moisture on these other 3 ducks because those were getting pretty dry. I'm going to put some light moisture on here so I can finish the background around them. do some backgrounding. Without the backgrounding, then your subjects, whether or not they're ducks or something else, just looks like they're all on the same level as everything else and don't look as good. Plus, this texture holds a little bit of antique. And I'll show you guys here how what I was talking about with leaving some of those pieces not pushed down in the piece. I'm not going to go all the way up to that edge, and this is left. So don't hurt nothing to leave that like that. I actually kind of like it when everything's said and done. That little detail just helps. Some guys don't like going over the same line twice. I prefer not to also, but if it needs it, I'll do it. The production mindset of I'm just not going to go over a line twice, no matter what, seems ridiculous to me, but I know guys that do it. Like, nope, I only get paid to go over that line once. I'm only getting paid to do it, so it looks decent. I say, well, I'm not doing it. I ain't got time for that. Okay. You do you and I'll do me. All right. So the next thing that would go around this is I'll just take a camouflage tool like this one right here. This 0431. Dang, we're almost an hour into this already. Time flies when you have fun. Normally I could tool one of these a little faster, but let's see here. I'm not sure where I need to move this. Go out just a little ways here. I doubt you guys just want to watch me tool the other side. But I'm gonna make it full length, and then I'll probably do a small video of tooling one of the ducks or something. Release it as a short or shorter video, anyways. We'll see. Okay, so that's one side. Well, I don't even know how to show it all to you. That's one side tool. Actually, we'll call it almost 2/3, so we got the initials tool. But looking pretty good. Looking pretty sharp. Alright, let's do the other part. And I will keep filming, and I'll just do this in a full length, and then I'll do a short video of just tooling a duck or something. My leatherworking videos really don't get a lot of play anyways, to be honest with you. I'm not sure why, but probably because they're not heavily produced and all that stuff. And a lot of the ones that do well are the guys that don't do production work. They do one-off pieces, and they can take forever to do a piece. They are masterpieces when they're done, though. I'll show you guys some of the ones I've done. I just actually seen the other day that Michael Francis and sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the other name. Is going to take over the Leatherwork Reunion, which I think is great. So I don't know what that means or when they're going to start back up again, but I really enjoy those. They're always small. There's not a lot of people there, generally, but you get a lot more one-on-one. And my favorite leather worker, Kathy Flanagan, has always been there. And there ain't a class I wouldn't take with Kathy. She is just fantastic. Amazing artist. Been tooling leather since she was a kid. I think at 4-H or I don't know, something like that. I think she started. She won the Alice Dolman Award, and if you're not familiar with her, but she does animals. She doesn't do a bunch of Western floral stuff or anything like that. She does animals, and she is amazing. She really is. Now, when I was doing this, I got this one's beak a little pointy. It looks like one of them fish ducks. We'll fix it up a little bit. There was a spot out there when I lived in Alaska. You could go out and this point that stuck out, and you could shoot sea ducks until you couldn't hold the gun anymore, if that's what you wanted to do. There's a lot of targets out there. But you definitely need a dog. You're shooting in the ocean, obviously, and the tide's ripping. So you need a dog that can handle all that. with you, my biggest fear about doing that was wasn't sharks. It's the only real sharks for the most part. You got crusher sharks that live down in the deep, I mean deep. They're big, but they're down, we caught them at 1,500 feet on long lines, fishing for black cod, and they're deep down there, so they're not going to get your dog. There is salmon sharks, which is, I think, the closest relative to the great white, but there's not a lot of them, I don't think. And I think they're more around the southern part of Southeast more than, I've never heard anyone catching one up around the Juneau area. Anyways, killer whales. That was my biggest worry about getting your dog. That never happened, but I had this dog Rose, and she would she loved the water and loved the chocolate lab. Loved to chase sticks and things like that. And we'd go down to Sandy Beach or somewhere out there, and those seals would be popping up out there. They just pop their head up, bloop, 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 here and there and wherever. And she'd see that, and boy, the way she'd go. Swimming around, they'd pop up and look at her, and she'd swim over there, and they'd pop up and look at her, and she'd swim over there. And I thought, oh man, I'd be yelling at her, get in here, get in here. Because I'd seen killer whales there many times, you know. There's a lot of killer whales in Southeast Alaska. Pretty big pods of them. Some guy that knows everything one time told me that the biggest pod of killer whales was like, it's got like 25 animals or something in it, or something like that. And I told him, I said, I seen a group that was much larger than that. Much larger, and he basically knows everything, and said, you're full of it. And then about a few days later, other people had been seeing them, and it was a mega pod, or I don't know whatever they call them, but I'm not sure how many animals were in it, but there was a lot. And he was a whole lot more than the 25. He swore that's all that there was in a pod, the largest pod in the ever recorded, blah 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 blah. I don't know. He's one of those guys. If you know everything, we're not going to get along. We're just not. And I get along with most people. The older I get, the more, when I was young, I knew everything. Now the older I get, the dumber I get, I guess. Yep, we're going to be an hour and 10-15 minutes into this probably by the time we're done. I actually didn't do the I didn't do my little camouflage tool that I got right here on on these other ducks, so I got to remember to do that. It's just a little detail which actually looks pretty doggone good when the antique goes on. And I lost my pointy thing again. What did I do with it? Did I put it up? Nope, I did not. There it is. I found it. Y'all can quit looking. Well, doggone, I can't hold on to the tool. The doctor is trying to, I got severe carpal tunnel. And afraid I won't be able to do nothing if I go get that fixed for a while. And he told me that if you go to a doctor that's a specialist that does it laparoscopically, said you probably be holding tools again and the next day. And I don't know if I buy that or not, but that's what he said. He's smarter than I am, obviously, so he should know. So I might go do that, go get one of them done. Then he says when they cut you real big across here, then there's a lot of recovery time. But the laparoscopic side of it, it's much less intrusive. So who knows? Might try that. I know that it needs to be done for sure. For sure needs to be done. When you're doing these lines, you want to kind of give it a little curve to it. You don't want to just have completely straight lines. Actually got to turn this way just because I'm more used to I hear my dog out there hacking. She's got allergies. When that starts acting up, I got to give her some steroids. Now, let's go ahead and do our camouflage tool before I forget. Put that tool up. getting that tool up. Put the stuff away that I'm done with, for the most part. There it is. Let's do some background. Put that away. Hour and 7 minutes. Could we finish it in an hour and 15? Probably. I'll let you know when we get to an hour and 15. I'll either be done or I won't. I do believe we will be done. Those ducks are really jumping out of there. I mean, I don't know how much of you can tell on the camera, but they're very deep impressions. last step. Except for putting the maker's mark on it. I just tilt it back right there just to get around those without getting into my duck. We're going to put the maker's mark. I got my duck a little far over. Put it back over there, I guess. Except for the maker's mark, that's it. I don't normally put my maker's mark on over here, but I will this time. Do I want it there? Or... I usually hold that duck back some so that it's not so it's over here in this corner over here, but I'll put it right there. And there's my maker's mark. You see that? All right, she's done. That's all the tooling. That's all we're gonna do. I'm not gonna show the finishing on this one. That'll be another time, another video. But yeah, that's it for the tooling. And zoom out here a little bit, maybe. So that's it. You guys can see that. If you're new to tooling, you're wondering about this, this is just packing tape. I put several layers on the back. Keeps the leather from stretching. But there's our fully tooled strap, and I will probably attach a picture of the finished piece to this. So, all right, y'all keep tooling. Catch you on the next one.